be showing you how to swap faces in Adobe Photoshop. In case you don't know what swapping of faces mean, it means I will be changing this into this. Make sure you watch this video till the end because I will be taking it step by step from the basic method down to the advanced way of making face swaps look as realistic as possible. So this particular example is going to be one where we don't really care about any other features of the person apart from the face. So our main concern is preserving the facial resemblance. And we have two images on this our Photoshop document. The first image is the image of this man and the second image is this one. So we're going to be swapping this face for this face. To make this happen, first of all, we need to know what we are doing. Since we are going to be swapping the face 2, as I titled it here on the layer, the face 2 is going to be on top. So you have to drag the face 2 on top of the face 1. Since you are going to be keeping this face and removing this face 1 face. I don't know if you get what I mean. We want to take face 2 and put it on face 1. So we are replacing face 1 with face 2. Now, to do that, we have to ensure that they are not smart objects because you will not be able to remove anything from smart objects. So right click on the layer, click on rasterize. Same thing for face 2, rasterize. Now they are raster documents. Now what we need to do is, first of all, collect the face of face 2 because that's what we need. So you have to zoom in and make a very good selection of face 2. So come here, take your lasso tool, select the face of face 2. Now just select the main facial features. For now, just forget about the hair. Every other hair apart from the eyebrows and let's say the mustache, because it's supposed to be part of the lips, you leave the rest. So I'm going to select round the face. Let's see how much we can get. And boom, I've selected the face. All you just have to do is copy the face. To copy, you either press Ctrl+J on your keyboard as shortcut, or you right click and come to layer via copy. Then we copy this. Now we have a face of face 2 and we can turn off face 2 now, and we can see that we only have the face of face 2. So what we have to do is this face, we have to move it and position it right where it makes sense on the head of face 1. So I'll go back to my move tool, move face 2 till you get a point where it makes sense sitting on the head of face 1. Now to do this better, you can come down here while selecting on the new copied face, reduce the opacity, just reduce the opacity a bit till you can see the eyebrows of layer 1 and that of the face 1. Now make sure they match. Of course, everything would not be able to be 100% match. So just get as much as you can. The eyebrows are sitting right. The nose, kind of. The eyes may be a little different. We know they are two different persons, so they have different positions of their organs. Looking at this, I think we have a good job. We only have something here. If you zoom in, the face is quite outside the head and we don't want that. We want the face to be inside the areas of the head. So what we can do is just use our arrow keys, move it a little bit to the left till it is positioned inside the head, and I think this is it. It is within the space of the head, and that's fine. What we want now is we want to replace this face with that of face 1. So make a selection of this face, this new face, and then remove it from the face 1. Now to do that, you cannot just go to lasso tool again and start drawing around. Simply just hold Ctrl. Since you have this new layer cut on its own, hold Ctrl and click on the layer icon, not the layer label. This is the label. I can change this label to another name. Let's say new face. Just as we have face 2, face 1, can change the label, but the icon is the tiny image we see here. It's like a thumbnail. That's what you should click on. Hold Ctrl and click on that layer icon. You see you have made a selection of that layer. Now select the face 1. So you are now on face 1 layer. Go to select up here on the menu bar, modify, click on contract. This would reduce the selection. The opposite of contract, we have expand. So expand would increase the area of selection, contract to reduce it. For this, we are going to reduce it to something around, let's see how 20 looks. Okay, I think 20 is fine. The reason is because we need to contract it to reduce the area we want to remove from this face, such that we would not have, if I turn off this new face, you can see where we have selected on the face 1, this face 1 man. We are going to remove this part of it so that this new face will now be sitting as a replacement. But we don't want to remove the exact area of this because it is just how it works. If you remove the exact layer, there will be a space between it. So we want to reduce as much space or lapses in between this new face and the old face. So I'm going to turn off this new face so you see what we're doing. So since we are still selecting this, we've contracted by 20. That was, we've reduced the selection of the new face, and we are selecting face 1. All we have to do now is press backspace or delete on your keyboard to remove or delete this area we've selected. So once you press backspace, you now have a hole here, and I've deselected. Just press Ctrl D to deselect, and you can see we have a hole here. And when I turn on the new face kind of fill out that hole. As you can see from the icon, from the layer icon, the hole is still there. So that will tell Photoshop that we want to use this face to replace this hole on this face. It will all make sense in a bit. So now going further, what we have to do is select the both of them. I think I should just bring face 2 below because we don't need it for now. So we'll have our 2 layer of focus together. Now we're going to select the both of them. To select the both of them, hold Ctrl, this time not the icon, click on the layer, hold Ctrl, click on it once, and then select the both of them. Go down to edit on your menu bar, click on auto blend layers. Now we have 2 options here. There's panorama and a stack image. For this particular effect, you just try to use and see the one that gives you the best result. Most of the times, either of them produces seamless result. So we are going to try the both of them for this particular example. So we are using panorama. Ensure that seamless tones and colors stick so that it will blend. You can see that this new face and the former skin are not the same color and tones. So Photoshop would help us blend those. Same thing with content aware fill transform areas. So it would use this new face to fill out the empty space here. So first we're going to try the panorama. Panorama is clicked on, and then click on OK. Now you can see what Photoshop gave us. I'm going to turn off every other thing apart from the new face merged, which Photoshop has given us. So you can see now that it has changed this face to what we need. You see that. Now I'm going to go back to use the stack image example now. So I'm going to click on Ctrl Z to undo. Ctrl Z, I'm just going to click on it many times till that layer is gone. So we are left with our new face. I turn it off, and our face 1 that I've deleted. Select the 2 layers, the new face and the face 1. Going back to edit, auto blend, we're going to select stack image. While every other thing is ticked, click on OK.
What the fuck?
To my greatest surprise, stack image gave us the worst result possible, and honestly I'll tell you I'm very surprised. Well, we get the point. The point here is Photoshop gives you multiple options to try, and you are looking for a result, and that result is what you end up working with. So we're going to undo this, Ctrl Z, till we get back to where we're coming from, and then go back here and use our panorama in peace. Now we have our result. If we are to compare it with the original, so we'll see our result, I think I'm going to have to bring in this guy's face here, face 1 back, so we can see our result. So if we have face 1 here, if I turn off this new face that Photoshop has given us, you can see the difference. This is the initial guy, and this is our new faced guy. So we get, now I'm going to turn off this new face I brought. I don't need it, take it down. What I need now is the face 2, the initial face 2 guy. Now I'm going to turn it on. The reason why is, like I said, we are swapping faces, but this guy has some facial features that we need to preserve in this new image, which are his beards. So we are going to try as much as possible to bring in those features. Now I'm going to try and select most of his jawline. Just make a rough selection. We'll refine it later on when we bring it into the new image. And then layer via copy. Now turn off his face and then bring it above our new face merged. And as you can see, we've not even aligned it. It's already making sense. If I turn this off, this is our new beard. You can see that this already makes a lot of sense. So move it to the point where it looks real. And how do you know it looks real? You just look at some lines like this. Now this beard is supposed to connect with this. you can see there's a discrepancy here. So try and blend it at this point somehow. I'm going to use transform, Ctrl+T on your keyboard to transform. When you click on that, right click and select warp. Now you can hold this point to move this jaw line, and after that just select. Now what you're going to do is feather out the edges, because the edges are very sharp. If you zoom in, you can see how sharp and distinct this edge is from this. So how do you do that? You have to select the layer. Same thing, hold Ctrl on your keyboard, click on the icon, and that selected every part of this image. Now go to select, click on inverse, select inverse, or you'll be able to do that still when you hold your selection tool, right click and click on select inverse. So what this does is, okay, let me zoom out if I can explain this. If I click on Control and on the icon, you see that we've selected everything about this jaw that we brought in. But as soon as I right click and select inverse, it has selected the edges along with the entirety of the frame. So that means we are not really selecting this image, but we are selecting around it. Now, next thing we're going to do is come to select, modify, expand. And we expand by, let's say 2 will be fine, or 5, around 5, because we're trying to select just a little portion of the image this time. If I click on Ctrl+Z, see how the selection moved inside a bit. Now I'm going to right click on feather. As the name implies, it softens the edges just like the feather of a bird. So I'm going to feather out around 5 pixels too. Click on OK. So I'm going to delete it by pressing backspace. Look what happened. If I click on Ctrl+Z before the deletion, you can see this edge here, this edge. So as soon as I click on backspace, it removes that. And when I click on Ctrl+D, you can see how soft this edge is now compared to before. If I click on Ctrl+Z, see how sharp the edge was. This is how sharp the edge was. Now look at the result after we feathered the edges. So you can see that it has blended even more. This is the before the face swap, and this is after the face swap. If this video was useful to you, please like, follow and share, and I'll see you in the next post.